What's going on, you guys? It's Ariel here. Welcome back to The Casual Nerd. Today, I have the family with me. I have the friends. I have the amigos here again. We have Danny Peña. We have Parris. We have Tony Polanco here for another episode. Guys, it's so good to have you all together again. How are you guys today?
Oh,
Doing
thank you.
good.
Doing good. Thank
Yeah,
you for
doing
inviting
great. Yeah,
us.
fantastic.
Good, awesome. I'm glad to hear it. So we have a lot of topics to cover. There are some things that I was just so freaking excited about that I was like, okay, I have to do a podcast episode with these guys and get their opinion. The first topic on the discussion board tonight is the Switch 2, which it's not the Super Nintendo Switch. Sorry, Paris.
Uh-oh.
I knew it. I told Paris it's not gonna happen,
Look,
I was rooting for you, Paris. I wanted it to be that.
it's Super Nintendo Switch to me.
In my heart, they will always be the Super Nintendo Switch.
That's all that matters.
Oh, man.
So I want to get your guys' opinion on
So
what's
good.
going to happen because, A, this is the first time I actually saw a trailer for a device and thought that is a sexy console. Like, I was so impressed by just the minimalism, the way that it was crafted, and on top of it, I want to know if you guys think that are there going to be different Switch games for this console, or will all the Switch games that we have carry over onto this console?
Yeah, well, Nintendo already announced that it's going to be backwards compatible, so all your Switch games will work on this thing. But it's not going to work the other way around. You're not going to be able to play Switch 2 games on the original Switch. You know, they want to make sure you buy the new console. But yeah, Nintendo already announced that. And to your point, I know a lot of people thought the presentation wasn't anything special. I do like the redesigned console. It's bigger because the first one I felt it was too small. It's like, little Joy-Cons and everything. So it seems pretty cool, but I'm really more, I know, maybe jumping ahead a little bit, I'm really looking forward to the announcement on April 2nd, where we're going to learn about the specs and everything. Cause here's the thing, everything that got leaked about the Switch 2, as far as design goes, was all correct. So I'm guessing all the spec stuff will be correct as well. And if it's true, and we may talk about this a little bit later, there's something I want to bring up that people need to watch out for, because it's going to be pretty exciting. And I'm saying this as somebody who doesn't care about Nintendo. It's like, whoa, this might be significant.
Wait a second, are you sure you want to say that, Tony? You don't care about Nintendo? This is new for me.
Yeah, but I'll save that
I'm
for later.
excited. I'm excited for the Nintendo Switch 2. I know they showed a very short clip of the new Mario Kart game, Mario Kart 9. I think that's the name of it.
Yeah.
It looks like it's going to be 24 players, which is insane. 24 players playing online. Whew. And who knows the amount of new characters we're probably going to get to see in this game too, and all the new things that we get to do in there too. So I'm very hyped to play that. Like I was telling this to Paris and P on our show a while back. I was like, I could see Mario Kart as a launch title, and then maybe at the end of the year we'll probably get like a new 3D version of Mario or something like that, because this year is actually the 40th. Is it? Yeah, the 40th year of the release of Mario Brothers for
Oh, wow.
original Nintendo. Yeah, so this is gonna be like a big Nintendo Mario year. You know what I'm saying? So I think they're gonna go all out with that. Plus, if you got to see the sales numbers a couple days ago of not only the original Switch, but also all the titles. I think Mario Kart 8 was like what, almost I think it was like the top selling game of for Nintendo
Yeah.
this generation, and period. Yeah, it was a lot. So and I think the console was like over 150 million
150
units.
million. Just Nintendo just made that official yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? Something
But
like
2 days ago, yeah. And Danny, that's 10 million below the PS2, which is the current best-selling console.
Yeah.
But it made it to 150 faster than the PS2, which is pretty incredible.
Yeah, it passed the Nintendo DS numbers.
Yes,
So
yes.
yeah, so it's crazy. Now, not only that, people also gotta understand that Nintendo is not in the competition. Like, okay, let's make this powerful console or anything like that. Like, they're in their own lane, doing their own thing, and not only that, it's all the games sells like crazy. It sells. Like the numbers is incredible when it comes to first party, more than PlayStation, more than Xbox. That's why I personally think that we're probably gonna get to see some like Xbox releasing some games there for the launch of Nintendo Switch 2. Don't be
Uh-oh,
surprised if
look
we
at
get this
Parris.
stuff in there. Yeah, I mean, what
Parris.
Paris? I mean, look.
I
Phil
didn't say a
Spencer
word.
and this-
I didn't say a
I
word.
just saw that
I'm
shaking that
listening to
head,
you.
bro.
The facial expression said it all.
I'm just going.
It's
Look, I'm just going based on conversations and leaks, but conversations that we have with Phil, I mean, they mentioned this a while ago, that they were going to support Nintendo, so it makes sense for Xbox and a lot of these other third-party companies to take advantage of having those launch games for Nintendo Switch 2, because if we know there's like let's just say a Halo game, or let's say a Final Fantasy game or like Black Ops 6 for Nintendo Switch 2, people that have never played that on other consoles, they only have Nintendo Switch, this is going to be their first time playing. They're going to milk it and buy it right away. You know what I'm saying? So I could definitely see that. So, but yeah, go ahead, Paris. You were looking at me saying no, but
Are you sure you're done?
I'm
I think you took about 30 minutes to get all that out.
hey, I'm hyped for the Switch 2.
No. I mean, being serious. I mean, what both of you already said, I spot on. No need for me to repeat that, but I do want to take this angle on it. So it was funny, like right before the Switch 2 announcement came out, a few days before, I was like, look, if the Super Nintendo Switch is nothing more than just an upgraded Switch, a more powerful Switch, I'm good. Like, in other words, you nailed it the first time with what you did. You innovated, basically making AAA games on the go on this handheld device. Don't mess with a good thing. If that's all y'all do, I'm not going to complain. Then we obviously saw the little mini reveal, and what did we see? A bunch of people complain. Oh, this isn't innovative enough. Look, we know Nintendo, they are the innovators in gaming. I mean, we don't have Rumble without them. We don't have wireless controllers without them. Obviously, the stuff that they've done with motion, things like that. Everything that Nintendo has done over the past 40 years, I get it. But if I'm Nintendo, why try something radically different this time? To your point, Tony, you just sold 150 million of these things. Why would you take, especially in the current climate of the gaming industry, why would you take a risk that you don't need to? If you give everybody a more powerful Switch with a bigger screen, you get rid of all the drift and the Joy-Cons, you take the lessons learned from what people did not like about the original one and you improve upon it. And there day one. Look, they already got my money. They don't even know it, because as soon as they pre-order, I'm right in there. The bigger screen. Look, we're not going to get OLED at launch. That'll be later, because that's what Nintendo does. They're going to keep costs, and they've already said they're going to keep costs reasonable. So I'm expecting no higher than $399 for this thing. Bigger screen, better Joy-Cons. Like you already said, Danny, it sounds like we're probably going to get Mario Kart at launch. We know we're going to get Metroid Prime 4, which I would imagine will be cross-gen. So that'll probably still be playable on the original Switch. We know, if not this year, definitely next year, we're going to get a 3D Mario on this thing. Donkey Kong's probably going to come back. Like, there's so many games that we are going to be excited to get on this more powerful Switch, which you would imagine is going to, because, the leaks, obviously, with the NVIDIA SoC, it's probably going to do some form of DLSS.
Yes.
So let's just say it's PS4 power level games. I'm good. I'm not complaining. I will be very happy to have that taken on the go, dockable, at home on my television. That's all I need from the Switch too. So as long as they're able to do that, to Danny's point, we know we're going to get a lot of Xbox support from this. Probably going to get some PlayStation support from this too. But the point is, we're going to get a lot of third-party support on the Switch, because Nintendo proved themselves the last gen that, oh no, if we make something that's more powerful, that can play some of the more modern games that are already on Xbox and PlayStation, they're going to put them on our system. So, in a crazy way, the Switch 2 is going to be the lead device in an odd way, right? Because it's going to have the hardware sales. It's going to be in a lot of people's homes. So from a gaming standpoint, if your game can run on a Switch 2, you're putting your game on a Switch 2. So I'm very excited for that. And I'm going to be very curious to see what that launch lineup looks like, when we get that full reveal in April.
Yeah, and I want to jump on that real quick because Paris, what I alluded to earlier, you just said it, right? This machine, if it's as capable as we're hearing, and again, we at this point we have no reason to not believe the leaks are true. This is going to be a very viable, if not the viable handheld for third parties, right? Think about it like this. Right now, even the Steam Deck, right, is struggling with games like Indiana Jones because it can't do ray tracing that well, right? This thing is supposed to have, like you said, advanced DLSS, right? So if you get that and you're a third party, and this is gonna, the system's gonna sell like hotcakes, like you said. Why wouldn't you put your games on there if they could run, right? And even this generation, most of the games that we got were from the previous generation, PS4, right? So I don't see why you wouldn't put, like you said, Black Ops 6, maybe Halo, maybe Gears, all that stuff. So it'll be very interesting to have a Nintendo console once again be a third-party powerhouse. We haven't had that in a very long time. For almost 2 decades now, Nintendo consoles have mostly been about the first party, right? Last time it was like really viable for third party was like GameCube. But remember back in the SNES days, like you were third party, you're putting your game on that system. So we're probably going to see that again. So
agreed.
Yeah, so it's going to be crazy. So like, because again, and you have to kind of retrain your brain because you think Nintendo first party. No, this is going to be for both now, potentially.
Yeah.
And that's really wild. And it's going to put all the other handheld manufacturers on check. It's like, okay, we gotta match this now. Very interesting. I mean, think about that for Nintendo of all companies. You know?
Oh, 100%. One thing to define what DLSS is for people watching this going, well, what is DLSS? That essentially is an AI upscaler for resolution. Yes. So you can run your game, say it's running at 720p. You're able to, with AI and machine learning, upscale it, the resolution higher to, let's say, 1080p, but there's also frame generation as well. So you can up the frames per second too. So say a developer makes a game for Switch 2 natively, it's running at 720p 30 frames per second, but when you bring DLSS into it, you can upscale the resolution to 1080p on the handheld, and you can up the frames to 60. So like, again, that's another kind of expectation I have, and we'll obviously see when we get to it. I'm expecting 1080p 60 on the go on mobile with this because of DLSS. The interesting thing is going to be when it's docked. That is going to be very, yeah. Will they do 4K 30, 60 or whatever the case when it's docked? If Nintendo pulls that off, boy, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's a freaking wrap.
But to your point, they don't even need to do full-on 4K. They could do 1440p and then upscale it to 4K. So it'll be viable. Oh, dude, it'll be crazy.
And that's what I'm saying, because in sorry, Danny, I'm going for 30 minutes. But in handheld mode, you can say, all right, 720p will upscale to 1080p.
Battery life, you can't go crazy.
Right. Mm-hmm. But when it's docked, all right, we're going to run it at a 1440p, upscale it, to your point, to up to 4K. So we'll see. We'll see if they do that. It's Nintendo, so I'm not expecting 4K. That would just be a happy surprise. I think Nintendo can easily get away with docked, leaving it at 1080p. Again, costs, all that, because you'd have to imagine the dock is probably doing something on board, whereas the current dock is just a dummy device where
that's all it is,
you're just slotting it in, So we'll see. I would say 1080p, 60, docked, and on the go. That would be my guess.
I agree.
Yeah, one last thing, Ariel, I forgot to mention too, is I know during the reveal trailer, they showed Nintendo showed the Joy-Cons as like a mouse.
Yeah.
So it looks like, and there's rumors too that this could be is going to have like some mouse control features. Now, picture this. Imagine playing Mario Paint using the mouse. People going crazy with artwork and all that stuff, right? Or having the next Mario Maker game where people are designing new levels using that device, using the Joy-Con as like a mouse. Bro, the level design is going to be mind-blowing. If that ever happened, So there's so much potential with this, and people are still thinking about like, oh, but it's not powerful as like Xbox and PlayStation. Like, yo, it's not even about that, man. It's about creating new experiences. Like, look, like what Parris was saying earlier, Nintendo started a bunch of stuff and then copying the company started copying Nintendo, right? So like motion control, that stuff. Actually, Select Start, that was Nintendo back in the 80s.
Yes, Nintendo.
And look how many companies has
Yeah.
that.
Didn't they also create the D-pad? I think they did, right?
The D-pad.
Yeah, because before that it was Atari with the joystick.
It was Atari. It was a joystick. Yeah.
So Nintendo did that. A lot of innovations came from this company.
Mm-hmm. And look,
shoulder buttons.
But that's why I brought it up before, that a lot of people have this expectation that every time Nintendo comes out with new hardware, it has to innovate. If you go back in their history, that's not necessarily true. I mean, sure, they've done a lot of things, but not every single thing that they've done has been this home run hit in innovation. They've clearly had their misses over the years as well. But I think, like I said, in this current climate, just play it safe. The best thing you do is just give me upgraded Switch. But to your point, Danny, I was watching Grub and Tam today as well. And it looks like that it's going to be some kind of mouse thing. And they were also talking about Mario Paint as well. So, yeah. And again, there's your innovation. Boom. Now everybody can be happy.
Yeah. There you go. Shut up.
Yeah.
There's your weird.
Like you said, play it safe and call it Nintendo Switch 2.
Yeah. Well, you know what it is. It's a Switch 2. There you go.
Mom and Dad, stop fighting.
Parris.
Mama call him Super Nintendo Switch. I'm gonna call him Super Nintendo Switch. All I got to say, y'all can say whatever you want. I don't care what the box say. It's what it is.
You know what's actually really funny though is that now on this podcast, you guys are my turf. It's my turn to poke the jokes now. Just as much as you wanted to have Super Nintendo Switch, it's just the same with Banjo-Kazooie. Not gonna happen. Sorry.
Oh damn. Damn.
Yeah, how you gonna do my man like that?
Oh my god. Look at
That's it. Bye, Parris. Oh, man.
That's it for the podcast. Bye, you guys. Sorry. No, but I have a strong prediction for in terms of what they're going to be doing marketing wise for the Nintendo. I was about to say actually Super Nintendo Switch. Jesus Christ.
Play safe. Play safe.
What they were going to do for
Danny,
the Switch 2 is I feel like, how they came out with the Animal Crossings version, they came out with different Pokemon versions of the Switch, it came out with a Zelda version of the Switch. I feel like what is going to happen is we are going to see a surge of different games that are specifically going to be designed as just marketing tools for the Switch 2. So let's say, for example, Pokemon. We haven't seen anything much from Pokemon games recently come out. I feel like they're waiting until the Switch 2 releases, then they're going to release a new game along with a specific hardware for the Switch, kind of like what Animal Crossings did with their Switch. Because Parris.
I don't disagree, but not at launch. I think launch, this is the Switch. And then I think next year on down the line, you're going to get, to your point, themed Switches. Like again, when that my other guess is when that 3D Mario is probably going to be tied in with the Mario movie that's coming out in 2026. You're going to get a Mario Switch 2, 100%. You're going to do that. A Zelda, 100%. And then you'll see the other variants of the Switch 2. See, I'm saying it, Switch 2.
Hey.
One with OLED, because they won't do that at launch. They'll come out with an OLED later. You'll probably see a Switch 2 Lite that's not dockable. That's just on the go, because that obviously was very popular the first time. It's Nintendo. They always do variants of stuff. So that just makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And what my gut instinct is telling me with how well Xbox is doing recently within the market, I feel like the next Gears game is also going to be on the Switch.
That'll be fun. Get on Twitter that day when that happens.
Everything's going to be on Switch too.
Everything Switch, PlayStation, Atari.
Even the new Resident Evil is going to be on the Switch.
No, but honestly, look, having that conversation with Phil on our show a couple weeks ago, like he straight up said, like, look, we're planning to do that. It's not something that they're gonna stop doing. It's selling. It's been going well for the company when they release a game for other platforms. So like I know Sea of Thieves did really, really good. I think it was like top of the charts of PlayStation, I think, for a while, So now Forza Horizon 5 is coming out for PlayStation 5. That is going to sell like crazy because especially for the PlayStation community, they're dying to play like some racing games, you know. So why not play something that has never been on a platform, you know? So hey, look, it's gonna go everywhere. I don't know why people are still complaining because, or blaming content creators or media for us pushing Xbox for releasing all this multi-platform.
It's your
Doesn't
fault.
make any sense. It doesn't make any sense, man. But hey, people gotta get used to it. It's happening, you know.
Yeah,
So.
and I actually you perfectly went into the next topic that I have is I want to discuss the interview that you guys did with Phil Spencer, which by the way, congratulations. That is just one of the further wins that you guys have, and I'm so incredibly proud of the both of you for how you guys did the questions that you guys asked. I'm so happy that you guys asked what you did. I wanted to know how that process went. Like, how did you go about getting Phil on your show again? What was that like? I know that Danny, you were in kind of a precarious situation trying to do the interview and trying to get everything sorted. So tell me about that.
Yeah, I started talking with the team back in August. Actually, I saw them at Summer Game Fest / Xbox Game Showcase, and I briefly mentioned it. But when we started talking was around August. You know, we were going back and forth, and you know, they've been busy. We've been busy, and then we got contacted by them around sometime in December. I think early December, after the holidays. And after Thanksgiving holiday, and you know, we were going back and forth. Originally, we were going to do the interview back in January 15th. So I was like, all right, that's perfect. You know, a week before my flight to New York City. You know, so Parris and I were prepared, and also originally Rihanna was supposed to be in that part of that interview too. That was the original idea. Then we heard back from them that it was going to get pushed to January 24th, and I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna be in New York City. How in the world I'm gonna do this? You know, I was going back and forth with them, and also with Parris. I'm like, Parris, how the hell I'm gonna do this? It's like super close to us going to the airport because we're flying back from New York to LA. So it got really complicated. We worked it out. You know, they gave us like a time. I think it was like 3:00. Was it 3:00 our time?
Yeah.
6:00 East Coast time, and we did the interview. I had to get equipment from Elgato. They sent me some the new products, Neil, the cheaper version of
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it worked well. Like I loved the product. It was awesome, you know. And I also had to find a location to record because New York is very loud and it's hard, especially if you're in the city. So I got help from one of our friends, Albert. Shout out to him. He works at Microsoft, one of the offices over there, business office in Times Square, and we did the interview there. So if you see the video, you'll see like a lot of billboard advertisements behind me because it was there at Times Square, you know. So meanwhile, baby, our daughter was she was asleep during the interview too. So everything went well, and then I had to head out to the airport, and then our flight got delayed, so I got time to do a little bit of editing at the office because they have a faster speed. Because I was planning to edit it while driving to JFK from
oh wow,
from Times Square. Yeah. So it reminded me. Here's the thing. It reminded me of the early days when I started podcasting, where on the go, just doing this. There was even a story. Parris did the same thing, something like that, right? Like he had an opportunity to record an interview, and he had to do it on the go. It's cause here's the thing. If you get an opportunity and you don't take advantage of that opportunity, because that's one of those once in a lifetime opportunity, you just got to go for it, you know. So I'm glad that we managed to do the interview, and it came out great overall.
Yeah, fantastic interview. Yeah,
Parris, it's a very inspirational story that you recorded an interview with Kevin Levine, and you did it in your car, and you were using I don't know, hotspot or I don't know, Wi-Fi. I don't know what you were using, but you did it, and it came out great. One of his favorite interviews. What?
I would like to point out something.
What?
I've known this man for almost 20 years. Literally 20 years.
19 years exactly.
Yeah. We've known each other for 19 years. I've known of him for 20 because of Gamertag Radio. And let me tell you, in this 19 or 20 years, this man will tell your story for you with you standing right there every time. And you got it wrong, by the way. It wasn't Ken Levine. It was Casey Hudson in the car. Sorry. And I used a hotspot. Thank you very much for Mass Effect 2. Now, the Ken Levine story is actually even funnier because I did that one. I used to work for Orange County, and IT stuff, right? So we used to have our offices, essentially it was like in the basement, for lack of a better term. So I was supposed to do it at home. So I forget what, no. I'm forgetting exactly. For some reason, I didn't have my equipment. That's what it was. I knew I was going to do it at the office. It took me an hour to drive home. I drove home for an hour, got my equipment, drove back.
Wow.
Went in this office and recorded the interview with Ken Levine for BioShock. And I will never forget, I'm staring at the door and I'm just like, please, Jesus, don't let nobody open this door and see what I'm doing. Please, nobody open the door. And nobody opened the door the whole time I was doing it. But to Danny's point, hey, whatever it takes, you do what you got to do. You get it in. You get an opportunity, you take advantage of it, and you make it work.
I do have to actually say that
hustle,
something like that happened recently, and I remember talking to you guys about this over Twitter DM. Ka actually put me in touch with the CEO of Kind of Funny, and I was able to talk with Tim. Shout out to Tim. He is absolutely incredible. Wonderful guy, and I might actually, I don't know if I'm going to edit this out potentially, but I know Tim, he won't have a problem with it. He's awesome. I am going to be doing a podcast episode of The Casual Nerd with Kind of Funny next month.
Ooh, that's awesome.
Congrats.
Very excited.
Dope.
Yeah. And he seemed really excited about it too. I'm just really looking forward to it. So yes, take every single opportunity you are given, because you don't know if it's going to happen again. You don't know when it's going to be like, oh, here it is. Here's this wonderful, bountiful that you are being graced with right now.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Definitely.
So it's exciting. Yeah. And also on the note of BioShock, I'm actually in the process of reviewing that game right now. And oh my God, it's amazing. I never played it before.
Yeah.
I love it. I slept on 2. 2 had like multiplayer. And I'm like, and then I play years later. I'm like, yo, 2 is not that bad. 2 is actually
two is severely underrated. Minerva's Den, which obviously it was the DLC that came with that. Some of the best DLC you ever play, and it's sad because not a lot of people have experienced it. BioShock 2 definitely underrated. Love that game.
Went like this. Tony went,
because I played it original. I'm like, I didn't like this game compared to the first one, and then Infinite came out, which was also awesome. It's like, I don't need to worry about it, but maybe I need to revisit because my memories of when originally came out, and it was, my opinion was not different than a lot of people's back then either. It's like nobody really liked it. I didn't either.
Nah, it's good. It's good. I think people will like it. People enjoy it.
So one of the next topics I want to go into you guys with is the concept of Xbox, and this is something that I had a hard time trying to word how I wanted to go about this question, because there's so many different concepts of what is Xbox going to become? What is Xbox evolving into over the next decade or even over the next 5 years? And what I want to get into with you guys is the concept of the disc, because recently, for example, I've actually sold back a lot of my physical console games, just purely because I need the space, and also I have everything on Steam anyway, and I only keep a select few copies of games that I truly treasure and want to keep as physical copies. What I want to know from you guys is, over the next 5 to 10 years, where do you see physical games going?
They're going to become an antique. They're going to become very niche in the gaming world. I would personally expect, I know you mentioned Xbox, but I'll say PlayStation as well. I don't think the next console ship with a disc drive. I think this is it.
I agree. Yeah. By the way, before we recorded the show, Danny was showing us a bunch of his vinyls. That's what games are going to be. They're going to be like vinyls. They're going to be collector's items for hardcore enthusiasts, but for general people, they're going to be getting physical. Even now, I think it was like nearly 90% of people get their games digitally. They're already kind of on the way out. So yeah, they're going to be vinyl basically. They're never going to go away. There's always going to be a demand for physical. And to your point, Parris, companies will probably offer an optional disc drive, but the main console that you buy will not come in. You're already seeing it, right? PS5 Pro, Xbox has a console without the disc. PlayStation also had one. So it's already happening. So I'm not surprised. I know there's some people that kind of are against it, but it's like, dude, it's already happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I think what's going to happen is it's probably going to be similar to like Alan Wake 2, where the game will launch digitally, and then in the future they will have like a physical version like a year later or something like that, but it will be like a very small amount of a certain amount. So they have like a pre-order, people will buy it, and whatever is there plus a little bit extra, that's it, and they're never going to release it ever again. So that's what I see in the future. The reason is, nowadays companies will create a bunch of discs, a physical disc for a game, and it's just sitting there at the store because people already got it, the digital version. So I think we're gonna get to see more of that. So like similar to like in the back I have like vinyls and all that stuff. It's a year later or years later that we'll have like a special version, like what Tony was saying, only for like the hardcore fans that want to collect them and all that stuff. So
Yeah, and actually the main reason why I bring up Xbox is because I wanted to do two parts of this question. Number one is for what physical games are turning into, and your interview with Phil Spencer actually got me thinking about the state of Xbox, seeing responses that people are giving on Twitter of like, both the good, the bad, the ugly, what it's going to become. And what I'm curious about is with Xbox and the ecosystem that they've created ever since they bought Blizzard, I feel like they have been the best that they have ever been content-wise, because right now we have South of Midnight coming out, we have Avowed coming out, we have the new Gears that's going to be coming out, Doom is going to be Doom the Dark Ages is going to be coming out. With all of these new titles, why do you think people are still in a sense complaining about lack of content from Xbox?
Can I take this one?
The only thing I will say, Parris, very short.
Just take it. Just go. Go.
No. It's small. You go. There are those. It's a smaller percentage. The majority of people don't care. We see that because it's negative. So it stands out more, But okay. Go ahead, Parris.
And that's all I was going to say. You said what I was going to say. That's why I was like, just take it, because that's what I was going to say.
Sorry.
No, but that is the point. It is the majority of people, the average gamers, literally don't care. They don't care. But I'm going to take this angle on it because I do think this is valid, and it's why I asked Phil Spencer the question that I did. I do think they sold us at the start of this generation on exclusives matter. Mid-gen, you told us it didn't. That is valid that some people, because not everybody can afford multiple consoles. I think if you got multiple consoles, who cares? Whatever. Xbox, PlayStation, Coleco, I play it wherever it is. Some people can only afford to. They made a decision in 2020. I prefer Xbox games over PlayStation games. I'm buying an Xbox. Then you tell me 3-4 years later, it's okay, we'll put them on PlayStation 2. I would have bought a PlayStation in that instance. So I understand that frustration from certain, there's obviously some very loud voices out there that are frustrated by that. That I get 100%. That is totally valid. That is a critique. Xbox needs to own. They still need to make people that have already bought that hardware feel valued and that they're going to get everything they can out of it. That is on Xbox to make sure that happens. Right now, the people that need to be quiet are the people that do own an Xbox, that do own a PlayStation, that do have a PC, all this stuff. You fussing about losing exclusivity when go buy it on PlayStation then because you got one. Go buy it on the Switch because you have one. Xbox giving you an option isn't a rate. Like you're only mad because other people get to play the game. That to me is ridiculous. I don't buy into that stuff at all.
Yeah.
Now here's what I think Xbox should have done. This is what I would have preferred to do. This generation is this generation. The games are on Xbox or on PC, Game Pass, the way they always said it would have been. You let me know leading up to the next hardware. Well, you know what? In the next generation, we're going to start putting games on PlayStation 6. We're going to put them on Switch 2. We're going to do this. We're going to transition into this new strategy that we have of multi-platform. And here's this new hardware, according to him or Phil Spencer, that is so innovative, you're still going to want to buy it. Because now me as a consumer, I can make a choice. I can go, well, damn, I'm still buy this Xbox because it does X, Y, or Z. Or, nah, I'm good. I'm going to just go buy a PlayStation 6 because I can play all the Xbox games there and all the PlayStation games there, right?
Yeah.
So there is valid criticisms in what Xbox has done. Now, taking that aside, putting games in more places, allowing more people to play them is something that Phil Spencer has talked about for a very long time. So that's not, he just pulled it out of thin air and just started saying it. He has been saying this for an extended period of time. The way they've gone about it, not a fan of it, to be clear. And that's why I said to him, well, if you're doing this, why would I buy an Xbox? So it is now on Microsoft and Xbox to convince, because before it was, I'm buying an Xbox because that's where I play Halo and Forza and Gears and all that. Now you're telling me this hardware is going to do something so unique that I'm willingly going to go buy it, even though I don't need to buy it. That is, I'm not saying it's going to work, because who the frick knows? That is going to be interesting to see how it plays out in the next few years when it happens. My guess is the handheld. The handheld is going to be the thing. Again, taking notes on what Nintendo has done, looking at what Valve is doing, what Lenovo is doing, Acer on down the line with these handhelds, and merging all the good and the lessons learned of the bad and removing those and making something unique. The thing that I've been saying recently is whatever this handheld is, it needs to be an Xbox, not a PC handheld. I don't want a Steam Deck. I don't want a Rogue Ally. I want an Xbox. Anything that I can do on the Xbox that sits under my TV, that handheld can do the same exact thing. All the services, all the first party games, the third party games, etc. I have access to my entire digital library on that handheld. They pull that off, I'm there day one. That's how I look at it. There, I'm done. That was long enough.
And to add to that, Parris, and I know there's been talks where imagine releasing that handheld, but now there's also a Steam app. There's also an Epic Game Store app there included.
Yeah, open.
Open. So do things that is unique that the other competitions don't have. That's probably going to convince a lot of people to buy that handheld. And it is easier for me to download all the games that I've been buying since the beginning of Xbox from way back in the days. Right, digitally, I could just download through there, easy on the go. I'm all in. I'm all in because I play a lot of handheld. Like I use my Steam Deck a lot. I still use my Nintendo Switch. So I think this is the future. This is a big, huge opportunity for Xbox to do a handheld device for the next console.
One thing I want to say, because there's something one of our listeners asked us on Throw Down Your Questions. He's based off your interview, he was like, okay, what would be a reason to buy an Xbox? And he brought up a good point. I didn't think about it. A reason to buy an Xbox, the actual physical console, is for the full Xbox Game Pass experience, right? Right now, you have Game Pass on PC, but it's not everything. Or you could also have Xbox Game Pass on like mobile devices, but it's streamed, right? But if you want the full Xbox Game Pass experience downloaded to a system, that's still a viable reason to buy an Xbox. Maybe they won't manufacture as many, right? But Parris, to your point, you could also get that full Xbox Game Pass experience on an Xbox handheld, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that's a viable reason for Microsoft to continue making hardware, because people have been saying, and I kind of said this too, I'm like, Microsoft has historically been a software company. They don't need to be making hardware, right? I know they have Surface laptops and stuff like that. But if they want to sell Xboxes, that is your defining feature. Xbox Game Pass, the full featured version of it, only on Xbox consoles. And I think that's the way they could sell it.
And another point to what you're saying is, because another concern / criticism is, or will they lose third-party support? Will this be a repeat of the Dreamcast? Because the Dreamcast died because they didn't have third-party support, right? So would this happen with what Xbox is doing? You're still going to, because like you're saying, they're not going to sell as many. Let's say they still sell 20 million of them. That's 20 million customers. That is 20 million devices out there. Ubisoft and EA and the rest are not going to, we're not going to support 20 million people. They're going to support 20 million people because let's say 2 to 3 million of them actually buy your game. That's going to your bottom line. That is worth the time and effort to port that game over to that platform. So no, I think Microsoft, and again, this is why they make the big bucks, but they've clearly, all these conversations that we're having, they've had them already. So they must have some assurances from the major third-party publishers that, we're still going to make games for your platform despite the amount of people on that platform, or the hardware, I should say, going down. But now, you're still going to get people on PC. You're still going to get, obviously, people buying the Xbox games on Xbox and PlayStation. But the one last point about what you're saying, Tony, I think the key to everything that they're doing with this, as far as still providing the hardware and people willingly wanting to buy it, is play anywhere. Mm-hmm. Xbox is in a unique position where you buy it once. If you buy it on the Xbox or Windows Store, you buy it one time. I can play it on my Xbox. I can play it on the PC. I can cloud stream it. And if they have certified other Xbox devices in this next gen, you can play it on there too. Whereas if I buy it on Steam or I buy it on PlayStation or Nintendo, and then I want to play it on another device, I got to go buy it again. Not to mention Game Pass will be available on these devices, the handheld, all that stuff. So I think their strategy is selling you services that provide value and provide flexibility and options to where and how you want to play your games. Sure, you buy it on the Xbox store, you can't play it on a PlayStation or a Nintendo, but here's 5 or 6 other devices that you can play it, aka this is an Xbox. That's what I think they're doing. Obviously, I don't know nothing. I'm sure someone will pull a tweet or a video clip I did like 8 years ago and tell me, well, you said this then. So I don't know, but that's just today in 2025. That's what I'm thinking.
This is an Xbox.
The only it is an Xbox. Now, here's a question I have for you guys, though.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just make believe we'll get Steam and Epic Game Store on that device, right? PlayStation released games on Steam and Epic Game Store.
You're going to play them on there.
We're going to be playing it there too.
Yeah, you're going to play them on there. Because
right, of course.
I've seen that argument a lot. Why would PlayStation block you? Why? You spent the money. They're making money. Again, people need to understand. Look, and I'm not turning this into a rant, I promise. Social media is not real life. It's not.
Wait, what?
I'll tell you right now.
I thought it was. You blow my mind.
It's not.
The grass outside is NFTs. Oh, shit.
Yeah. No, you bullshit right now, Parris.
I hate to provide a spoiler here. These companies aren't your friend. These companies are trying to make money. That is it. That's why I tweeted the other day. And I just, because someone wrote a 20-page novel, because I got roped into something, and dude wrote a 20-page novel telling me why exclusives matter so much, right? And I'm like, look, here's the truth of the matter. You can debate to you're blue in the face about if exclusives matter, don't matter, make games better, performance, all that. But the bottom line is this. Multi-platform means you reach more people and you make more money. At the end of the day, that is what all of this is about. So no, PlayStation is not going to be so petty to go, well, we know you have an open platform now and you're about to get on Steam and we're just going to block you. They're not going to do that. Why? They don't care. You bought the game, play it. It literally does not matter. That's where we are. So the people that are upset about this are upset that they want to gatekeep games from people that are not playing it on their favorite brand. And that's just the God honest truth.
Yeah, but Parris, 8 years ago, you had already said.
Well, you know what's funny? Me and Danny were just talking about this. 8 years ago, I was saying I wish there was only one console.
Yeah,
because I'm tired of that way. You buy it once, and you don't have to. I get a PlayStation, Nintendo. So it's like, again, I see. Again, you got me going now. I got to say this, Tony. What people don't understand is I am not a fan of exclusives. I never have been, but I am smart enough to understand why they were important. Now we're finding out the gaming industry is on fire. People are getting laid off left and right. There was a pandemic that created false growth. They thought, man, we're growing. Let's hire all these people. Our budgets are exploding out of control. $200, $300, $400 million to make a single player AAA game that has no return on investment and only 10 or 15 million people are buying it because it's locked on one platform and they're not making their money back. Guess what? I'm laying you off. I'm reducing this. I'm doing that. That's the reality of it. So you can have your tribalism and your brand loyalty and argue about why God of War needs to stay on PlayStation forever. But I guarantee you, the conversations are happening about we need to bring this game to more devices, because guess what? It's already happening. It's called the PC. And on the flip, the people that are upset at Xbox going, well, if we're putting Forza and Halo and Gears on PlayStation, we need a return back. PlayStation needs to put games on Xbox. No, they don't. No, they don't, because they're going to do what they think is best for them. And right now, they don't think that is best for them. So you cannot have that expectation. And I'm going to say this last thing, and I'm going to shut up, and I'm sure Clute is going to see this and clip it, and it'll be everywhere. You play games to have fun, right? Mm-hmm. Why do you care if someone else gets to play the game? No one's ever been able to explain that one to me, ever. Whenever I ask that, I get a bunch of whataboutisms instead of an answer. Mm-hmm. If I get to play Gears of War, why do I care if Tony plays it on the frickin' Vectrex? I don't care. I literally don't care. Only children and adults without a social life care. I'm just being honest. And you get mad at me if you want. That's just the God honest truth. You know, I mean, that again, I'm just gonna roll. I'm gonna say this and I'll be quiet. I swear to God. Danny and I, because I don't remember how long you've been doing it, Tony, but Danny and I have been doing this for a long ass time, like 19, 20 years doing this. We have seen it all. A lot of hard work and effort is where we've gotten to the point where we are now. So in those 20 years, you know, there was many a weekend I was doing Uncle Gamer week after week after week after week after week. When nobody sent me no review codes, when nobody let me do no interviews or not, I was doing it because I love to do it, right? Because I love gaming and I love talking about gaming and playing games. And I think that is starting to get lost in translation in our current era here, where people are forgetting the whole point that we're supposed to be doing this. We're supposed to be doing it because we love gaming. I don't care if it's Xbox. I don't care if it's PlayStation, PC, Ubisoft, EA, Atari, and television, whatever the hell else you want to pull into the mix. Tandy 12. It doesn't. Ouya too. Even though they were
let's go.
Let's go.
The more I ever found out about Ouya, it was kind of a scam, by the way. But no, the point is, it's about gaming, man. Not this stupid arguing that we see online constantly about this. Xbox is doing something drastic. We get it. Am I a fan of it? Nah, not really. But I'm smart enough to understand why they're doing it. And that's the whole point of this. Doesn't matter what I say. Doesn't matter what Danny says. Doesn't matter what Tony says. They're going to do it because they're a $1 trillion company, and Xbox itself is a multi-billion-dollar company that's trying to make a profit. So they're going to do what they got to do. And guess what? PlayStation's going to do the same exact thing. Whether you believe it or not.
And so is the GameCube. Actually, wait, no.
Nintendo, I don't know about that one.
Here's the difference with Nintendo. The difference with Nintendo. They don't try to compete on the power narrative with hardware, so they always sell their hardware at a profit. So that is a part of their business model, to make a profit on their hardware. And their games, I guarantee you Mario Kart ain't $300 million to make. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
They have it's lower. Everything is cost for them is lower. So they are still able to innovate with their hardware, synergize their hardware with their software, and sell you both exclusively. They can still do it. What I'm saying is clearly Xbox can't, and PlayStation is starting to show they can't either. That's what I'm saying. When that freaking damn near unanimous game of the year, the game that I freaking love, is Astrobot, sold probably at this point 2 million copies, and there's 65 million PlayStation 5s out there. That is a problem.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I guarantee if Astrobot was on the Switch, it'd sell more than 2 million. I'll bet you cash money on that.
Absolutely.
And that's the point.
Oh, absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Here's the thing. And yeah. No, I was gonna say this. I'm like, you know, I see people getting angry online and all that stuff, you know, because games are going multi-platform. What is it? Okay, let me ask you this. Like, why are you getting so mad and taking this so personal that
Yeah.
a company made a decision. Yeah, you're right, Paris. It was mid, during the mid of
Mid-gen. Yeah.
Xbox, mid gen.
hmm
And I completely understand. But here's the thing: business. There's always something that's happening. If they see there's something is not working out, or if a company like Microsoft been acquiring a lot of other studios or publishers to be part of Xbox, the higher up, they're like, well, we got to make some changes because look, we're not growing. We got to do something different that's going to help us get more money. That's why they made the decision mid-gen. Let's start releasing these games multi-platform. Let's start with the old games that's been around now for years that people are not talking about anymore. Hey, you know what? Forza Horizon 5, that was years ago they came out. Years ago. And now that it's coming out, people are flipping out. But why? You're not even playing the game. Let a group of new people that are actually going to be playing this game and other games that they're going to have fun. Plus, there's a portion of people that still play those games too, right? From like PC and Xbox. Like they're hardcore fans. They love Forza Horizon series, right? They still play it. Now a new group of people are going to be coming in, buying this game and experiencing it for the first time. Now they're entering the community. The people that have been playing for a long time, they're going to experience it again. Like, wow, it feels like launch again, and also helping the new folks coming in. Hey, look, let me show you all the tricks and all the tips and whatever. Like, it's good for the industry for when a studio work on the game and it's going out to more people. That's great for the developers. People not seeing that. They're seeing it as like, oh, exclusive brand loyalty and blah. That's the only thing to think about. Because look, we're still stuck in the early 90s, early 2000s or now with the whole console war BS. That is going away. I'm glad in a way that this is happening because at the end of the day, this whole console war bullshit. Sorry if I curse on it, but it's gonna go away because of this move.
It is.
I think this is important.
And
This is
also
the point.
thing,
It's time for us to move on and just enjoy the games.
and also the thing too is like I remember when I played Diablo 4 for the first time on my PS5, I also got a copy for the PC because I tried to test both versions, and it didn't. I don't know why at first it didn't click for me, but it was incredible that I could play where I left off from the PS5 version on my Steam version, and I'm thinking, oh shit, this is incredible. This is what I want out of the games that I do. And that's the thing too. Like I started to play Astrobot for the first time a few days ago, and it's the one that I'm currently reviewing right now. I got into a debacle, a debate. The tweet that I did whenever, and it wasn't even just a tweet. It was like just a post saying, "Hey, this is the next game I'm reviewing." People were like, "Oh, it should be on PC," and I disagree with them. Why? Because this is supposed to test out the hardware of the PS5 exclusively. And the controller exclusively. Why do you guys agree that it should be on PC, or do you think it should be exclusively on PS5?
You can bring it to PC eventually. Yeah, bring it to PC
because the DualSense works just fine on PC.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, right now you have to have it wired to take full advantage of it right now. But the point remains, you could put Astrobot on the PC and have that same experience, and it serves, if anything, as an advertisement for the 30 years of PlayStation. Here's why you would want to get a PlayStation. Look at all these memorable IPs and all the stuff that they have. So to me, that's not even an argument either. I mean, like Danny already alluded to, it is changing, right? I don't care what I said 5 years ago. It's changing now. And that's the whole point. It's changing. The old model is eroding away. Money has a lot to do with it. Growth has a lot to do with it. If you think about it, console gaming has stayed around 200 million for over a decade. The biggest market of gamers is mobile. I mean, we're talking in the billions
of people. Yeah.
Right. So that's what they're trying to tap into, if we want to be honest about it. But one thing Danny said, and Danny, I know you've had these conversations and I've had the same exact conversations too. There is not a developer out there that says, yep, make my game exclusive and limit the amount of people that can play it. You won't find a developer that's going to look. You make financial deals and you do what you got to do. That part, take the financials out of it. I'm a creator. I want to make a game. The goal is I want as many people as possible to experience this thing that I created. There's not a developer that's going to disagree with that. And that's, again, in the real world, what people need to understand is, and that is something I do take Phil for exactly what he said, and I 100% believe him, that he comes off as genuine to me when he says, "Yeah, I want to enable our creators for all their games, and obviously they have a financial reason for it to happen now. But the point is, I think at the end of the day, of course, they want more people playing these games. Like I said, I'm just pulling out of it. Go ask Tim Schafer. You think Tim Schafer's like, yeah, I only want it on Xbox? Tim Schafer's not going to say that.
No,
of course he isn't.
No developer is going to say that. You know?
The only developer I could think, the only one I could think of, and this is a very rare case, was Itagaki. He hated Sony, so he's like, nope, Dead or Alive only on Xbox. Yeah, but that's a very rare thing.
That's personal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's just a personal thing.
But I'm proving your point. Like, it's super rare. Every developer wants to not only make a lot of money, but they want more people to experience their work of art. You know, so again, what happens on Twitter is in real life. Like, we go to E3 and stuff, we see all these companies talking to each other, hanging out and stuff, drinking together. But people on Twitter think like, oh, Xbox and Sony hate each other. No, they don't.
That's the worst kept secret ever.
Yeah.
Like DICE is next week. Unfortunately, I'm not going to go. Danny, I know you're going to go. It's like I've been lucky enough to go the past couple of years. And what do you think DICE is? It's everybody being together, all developers, publishers, all together, talking, collaborating, networking. That's the whole point. I remember specifically during the pandemic when we used to do that Clubhouse thing on, what was it, Tuesday night or whatever night that was, right?
I remember
Wednesday nights, I think it was.
Yeah, everybody from the industry used to come in there and talk. It wasn't like Aaron Greenberg started and going, only Xbox people allowed. It was like, no, it's like people from EA and PlayStation. It was all kind of people in there,
Yeah. That's like what I remember on Twitter. Stein was wearing a PlayStation shirt and everyone lost their fucking mind. I was like, are you guys as childish, really?
Yeah, people were freaking out.
Yeah, they're freaked out. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he got a lot of heat over that.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So stupid. And one thing
people are treating this like it was like Bloods and Cribs. Like,
that's what I'm saying. It's like a gang,
And one thing I do want to say, and I feel like I might have to stand up to say this. Companies, again, are not going to be your friends. The CEO is not going to just be an empathetic little lapdog. He's going to get his shit done because he wants to make money. And they want to all sell games. And they want to all, do things for the betterment of not only the company, I hit my knee, they want to do things to betterment for their creators. They're going to make a profit because they want to sell their games and they want them to do well. I don't think there's any argument in that. Sorry, I went Greg Miller on it, but I hurt my knee. God.
Danny, you know what I had in my head right now? Like the PlayStation gang will have their blue do-rags, Xbox have the green do-rags, Nintendo will have the red do-rag. It's stupid. It's dumb.
Well, I think Danny hit the nail on the head earlier when he said people make it personal.
They do, because they tie their self-worth into these brands, bro. It makes because you're just a human. That's why you don't get it.
That's the whole thing. You make it personal, and again,
that's when it goes downhill.
We already know what social media has become. Yeah.
That's when it all goes downhill, because the moment that I see someone not approaching something in good faith, that's when I know that they've checked out as a person. They're not going to respect anything, no matter what you say. And that's when you just have to be like, nope, this is an NPC, block and move on.
Yep.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Sometimes, like I was on IGN a couple of days ago. The Xbox podcast Unlocked, talked about the same exact discussion about Xbox going multi-platform. I gave my opinion. Same we're here. And there was this person that posted on Twitter /X, mad about us talking about it, blaming the media and content creators for making this decision going multi-platform. We're like, look, man, I haven't had no meeting with Phil or Satya. I was like, hey, release everything multi-platform, right? And then they think they're gonna get me mad by saying it's like, oh, you bald ass, whatever, blah blah. I'm like, first of all, I'm happily married. My wife is not. She loves my hair like this.
That's it. Caco pelao,
But it's like, bro, like, I feel like people need to chill and just enjoy gaming. Gaming is supposed to be for us to have fun, not to attack others because you like one company more than the other. If you love one company, hey, go 100%, but don't attack other people because they love a certain brand. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's supposed to be having fun, not this argument, debate, and all this stuff. It just doesn't make any sense. Like you're doing this and you're acting this way online. Are you getting paid out of this? Because you're putting a lot of time and energy creating images. Like you create an image so it could be a meme to go viral. Are you making any money from these companies for you to do this? Like, what is the benefit out of you doing this? Is it just attention? Is it because your goal is to get people angry? Are you putting more hours into that than actually playing games? Because there's people that might say something about a certain game and they have never played that game before. It's like fake drama, fake. It's like a grift thing because all they think they want is attention. Yeah, like
that's all it is.
Here's my advice.
Yeah, but I'm gonna wrap it up very quick. Me, I played a lot of games. Same with Parris. Same with Tony. Same for you too, right? We're not putting our energy into this stuff, and at the same time, we're like working and making moves and doing stuff and enjoying gaming, talking to developers, doing interviews, like that. To me is like there's a lot of benefits out of that. You know, like wow, we're having fun at the end of the day, right? And enjoying our passion. But when you go out there and go and attack Parris and Tony, whoever, because you don't agree with it, I feel like you look like a fool, like a clown.
Yep.
Yeah, you do look like a fool. But that brings me to my point about the advice I would love to give to that. And look, the three of us, honestly, the four of us, we all have our critics, and you know, some of it can be valid. I say dumb stuff all the time. I don't deny that at all, and I'm very receptive to critical feedback because, you know, I want to learn from my mistakes and things like that. But again, it goes back to the stuff people make it personal. They want to get disrespectful. They want to insult you and do all these weird things. My advice to those people is start your own podcast, start your own YouTube channel, and you can show me how to be better.
There you go.
Because and here's how I'm gonna say this, and I have strayed from this for a very long time, but I'm old now and I don't care. I'm really good at what I do. Really good. There's a reason I'm called the best voice in the business. I'm just saying there's a reason that I've been able to host showcases. There's a reason that I do opportunities with an Xbox, with an Nvidia, with a PlayStation, with a Ubisoft, EA on down the line. It's because I'm a critical thinker. I'm logical, and I try to look at the industry in a reasonable way. Like, here's what I think is going to happen. Here's my opinion about it. Sometimes I'm right. Sometimes I'm wrong. And that's fine. But I'm always going to shoot you on what I think. And I think that rubs people the wrong way sometimes, again, with the brand loyalty stuff, where I think people, because obviously I'm associated with Xbox. So they think everything I say or do is slanted towards Xbox. But what they always conveniently forget, I have been working with PlayStation, honestly, since about 2019 or so. It's like everything, ever since the PlayStation 5 has come out, I reviewed every PlayStation 5 first party game and every piece of hardware that PlayStation has put out. That always seems to conveniently get ignored for some reason, right? I'll never understand that. But the point I'm making on this is my opinion will always just be my opinion. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying it's my opinion. You, critic, are allowed to express your opinion as well. But here's the difference. I am not searching for you on social media and making clips and screenshots and yelling at you and calling you bald and ugly and all the other weird stuff that you do. I just say my opinion and I keep it moving. You are perfectly allowed to create your own little RSS feed, to go to Anchor or whatever it is, put it up on Spotify, create a YouTube channel, get your camera, get your microphones, and you can make the Angry Social Media Guy 612 45 16 podcast or whatever you want to call it, and XX. Make your content. But here's the difference. I am not going to come after you and be disrespectful for what you think about video games. And that is the weird part of all of this. Disagree, but keep it respectful. And that's what I think we see with social media, because you're anonymous, like we're public facing. So you see my dumb ass every week in front of a camera talking, yip yapping about whatever, right? So I'm public facing. I get that. But just because I'm public facing doesn't mean that you get to talk at me and then, God forbid, I ever respond. The pearl clutching that happens when I respond is the most hilarious thing ever. I'm a bully. I'm this. I'm that. And blah 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 blah. Because the 1 in 1,000 time I've actually responded to someone, and I try to do it in a reasonable way. I get a little petty sometimes, but it always comes like someone today was saying something crazy to Danny, and I responded. And then they went on their whole rant and got disrespectful. And I go, see, you're actually the person I'm talking about. Why is it okay for you to talk crazy to someone online when we know that is not how you act in real life? Your mom, your dad, your significant other, if they were to see you talk this way, they would be embarrassed by the way that you're talking. So we know you don't do this in real life, or you don't have a significant other. And that's the reason you don't have a significant other, because it's embarrassing is the point that I'm trying to make. There is a way to have discourse online and not agree and be respectful. I have people disagree with me all the time, and we have a conversation and we can walk away from that conversation not agreeing, but still have respect for each other. That's the difference that I see in the current content creation space, in the current social media space, where you can't have a reasonable conversation because there's, again, Danny's literally talking about, hey, it's going to be exciting, all these games. And it turns into chaos every freaking time. And it's sad. It's sad in that way. And that's why I say some of y'all need to go get help. Seriously. Because I know you don't talk this way in person. And then I'm going to say the last part. We'll go to a PAX. We'll go to a Summer Game Fest, a Comic-Con or whatever. You'll be the first one to want to walk up to us and shake our hands and say how all the online stuff is just joking. How am I supposed to know that?
Yeah,
it's ridiculous to me. And again, it goes back to you act the fool online because you think that's the way to get attention. How about this? Be a pro, be professional with your approach to something. That will go 10,000 times further than acting like an idiot online. Because if you act like an idiot online and you come to me in person and reveal that you were that idiot online, I'm literally going to look at you, smile, and walk away. Because why would I want to engage with that? Why would anyone want to engage with that? That's the point.
I actually do have a story time, though, because... Oh, no, go ahead. Sorry. No, it's okay. Go. I don't want to interrupt anybody.
No, it's all good.
Okay, because when I remember I got really brave one time on Twitter. Probably should not have. I got brave. And Tony, I remember texting Tony about this before, actually. But I got brave on Twitter, and I spoke my mind about the whole situation with Grums. Probably shouldn't have done that. And I called the situation dangerous. I said you should be using your platform for something a little more positive than coming after journalists, media, all that kind of thing, right? And then as a result, I got put on Smash JT's list and got told that you can't be a game journalist. What are you doing? Like all this kind of stuff. And the thing is that people don't realize that screenshots are a thing. Getting police involvement is a thing whenever it goes too far. Some of these knuckleheads are mostly just NPCs. I close off the computer, they disappear, and it's wonderful. But sometimes they take their stuff too far, and I want to take it from the perspective of them taking it too far because Alyssa has experienced this. I've experienced this. People have tried calling my house several times. And it comes to a point of where it only takes that one knucklehead to do severe damage. And it's something of where I want to tell people we are not just media, we're not just robots. We're not just, AI creatures and everything that you can talk whichever way to. We are still human beings that have feelings, that have emotions, and that approach things in our own subjective way. There's someone underneath the tweet that I did of Astrobot discussing the DualSense controls and everything, saying that, oh, it's the best game ever. She's going to love it. And it's like, I don't want you to dictate my opinion to me. I don't know if I'm going to end up liking it. I like what I see so far, but who knows if I'm going to like the rest of the game. You never know. It's up to the person deciding who is playing it. And that's the one thing that people don't understand, is that you can't dictate another person's emotions, opinions, etc. So.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
The only thing I will say to wrap it up for me, because I really have to go in a few minutes, is
Same.
Ariel, keep on doing your thing. I feel like you're doing the things the right way, and you're having conversation with people slowly. Like, it's coming up out of nowhere. They want to talk to you, they want to work with you. You're getting opportunities behind the scenes. That's how you do it. It's not about attacking folks or try to do like clickbait stuff to get the attention. Yeah, you might get attention there on the spot, but what about 5 years from now? People are gonna still rely on your content. They're gonna move on. They're gonna find something else, because people are gonna get tired of the same negativity over and over. It's exhausting seeing that all the time. So keep on doing your thing. I feel like you're very, very talented. It reminds me of us starting back in the days, like the way how you're doing things, and at the same time, it looks like you're having a blast.
I love what
which is the most important thing. If
fun.
you're not having fun with this, there is no point on doing this. I love doing this. Years later, I'm not even bored, because I connect with the right people to do this, and at the same time, I'm just having fun, man.
This is going to get a bit mushy, but I do have to say, while I still remember to say it, I'm very proud of you guys for all the work that you guys have done. Tony, you've been doing amazing work with Tom's Guide. I just love seeing the progress you're making. Danny and Parris, I'm seeing so much of the hard work that you guys are putting into this industry. I just want to say, from a fan, a media person, and someone who just loves games, thank you so much for the work that you guys do. So.
No, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's been great seeing you on the rise the past couple of years with your content. Just keep up the great work.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I agree.
So, you guys, if you all enjoyed this podcast and a possible very awkward roasting session between me and my friends, please be sure to hit the subscribe. We'll try that one again. Jesus Christ. If you guys like this podcast, if you guys like our faces, you guys like what we do, hit the subscribe button, hit the follow button, smash whatever buttons YouTube has for you to smash, and I'll see you all in the next one. May your coffee treat you well and life give you a nat 20. Bye, you guys.